Oops. I'm going to have to adjust my camera a little. There we go. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Hi everyone, I'm Humbly Anna Anders here on this YouTube channel and social media, Facebook. Just wanted to give a shout out. My condolences to the Rockefeller families and to all the corrupt, parasitical 1% elite families. My condolences for your loss, but that loss was our cross of 9/11/01. That loss today was our cross of 9/11/01, and we all know that. So, and beware, because Dharma and Karma is going to show up for all of us, spiritually speaking. Dharma and Karma will show up for all of us, spiritually speaking. So it'll be at our doorsteps. That's the way life is. You know, the spiritual realm is very much alive. It is very much alive, and the spiritual realm has seen what we all been doing since the day of our birth, okay, until the day that we go. You know, like today, Mr. Rockefeller left, and what was he, 101 years old. He started the Standard Oil Company, and he also played one of the founding fathers of Alcoholics Anonymous. But to tell you the truth, folks, I question his motives. I question his motives for starting Alcoholics Anonymous here. To tell you the truth, I believe that he did this because he knew that people would need a healing agent. That's true. And that is so true. But at the same time, Prohibition, I'm going to find out. I have to do some research. But I want to find out what time period, what era did Prohibition start. Because you can bet your sweet bippy that the bankster, gangster, warmongering thugs heavily invested into the alcohol industry too. Because they knew that they were going to make tons of bucks off of the disease of alcoholism. And my problem, I don't have a problem with people opening businesses. My problem is when you open a business, try to be accountable and responsible to your commitment of that business, see? Because your business might end up causing the general public some critical harm. And I can tell you, people, in the wake and in the devastation of alcoholism, my family tree, my sacred family tree, was not the only family tree that was harmed. Okay, there's been many family trees from local to global since the alcohol industry got started by the Rockefellers. I bet you that they heavily invested into the alcohol industry right after Prohibition there. So these bankster Wall Street big ballers, they love to play all sides of the game. So I'm not lame, and I'm not going to be lame. My name is Anna Anders. I'm one of the founders of forglobalpeace.com. And what I love exploring and investigating, if you will, is the truth. And the truth is, in this big book, there's lots of work to do, spiritually speaking. But the truth is, we've been lied to and indoctrinated somewhat in this book. So the first chapter tells me that, okay? The first chapter, because the first couple words in the first chapter that Rockefeller played a part in with this is war fever. Not we alcoholics, but war fever, okay? So just a shout out again to the Rockefeller family who's been heavily invested into all the cannon fodder that has happened from local to global, all this warmongering, all for oil. And yes, he started the Standard Oil Company, and I would imagine he's going to be buried here in corrupt Cleveland too, as his grandfather and father was, perhaps. Lakeside Cemetery, I don't know, but we're going to find out. I know I'm going to do my research. I don't know if you will, but I am. What else do I want to say? Yes, and David Rockefeller moved aside. Mr. Rockefeller moved aside from the World Trade Center complex on July 28, 2001, he scooted aside, you know, just very quietly. He scooted aside very quietly, and he let a man by the name of Larry Silverstein take over on the World Trade Center complex that Mr. David Rockefeller built. So that complex, World Trade Center complex, it was his vision that the head corporate people of corrupt Wall Street would come in and occupy the space there in the North and South Towers and within that World Trade Center complex. So that was the vision he had originally for the World Trade Center complex. But unfortunately, that vision never manifested. And unfortunately as well, when they built the towers, they built them with asbestos. You can Google and YouTube this information. This is not misinformation or disinformation. The towers were built with asbestos. So when the EPA came in, they told Mr. Rockefeller that it's going to cost you billions of dollars to have all that cleaned up. You know, billions of dollars to clean up all that toxicness, if you will. So, what I want to say is, you know, when you're a mover and a shaker like Mr. Rockefeller here, don't think that you're going to squander billions of dollars to clean up some towers that he built because of the asbestos. He's not going to do it. So what they did was they came up with, because they knew they were going to go into this new world order situation, the globalist elite, through PNAC, Project for a New American Century. And so what happened was they needed an event, a catastrophic event, similar to Pearl Harbor, and they knew that. So the PNAC group, Project for New American Century, brought us the devastation of 9/11/01 with Mr. Rockefeller's signature on that. See, he signed over the World Trade Center complex on a lease to Larry Silverstein, July 24, 2001. And within the body of that 99.9-year lease, there was a statement for insurance on the World Trade Center complex. For the first time in the World Trade Center complex history ever, they had an insurance policy that covered terrorist attacks. And that would be on July 24, 2001. Well, 9/11 didn't happen until 9/11/2001. So, good thing for lucky Larry Silverstein that he took out that policy. And it was a good thing that Marvin Bush sold it to him too. Marvin Bush, who was our president's younger brother at the time of 9/11/01. So Marvin Bush sold Larry Silverstein that insurance policy on July 24th, 2001. And not only that, Marvin Bush had another job on 9/11/01. Marvin Bush had another job on 9/11/01 at the World Trade Center complex, and that would be to supply the security for the World Trade Center complex. So these little good old boys club had it all wrapped up in a nice and needy, tidy package for us, you see? Tidy, controlled demolition package. And by the way, a literal company called Controlled Demolition was accountable and responsible for cleaning up the debris field at Ground Zero after the devastation. I'm humbly Anna Anders on this YouTube channel here today, and I am soul, S-O-U-L, spiritually relieved that it's almost like a sacred honor for myself. I mean, Friday was my birthday, my spiritual birthday. March 17th, 1990 is when my spiritual life started to manifest for me. March 17th, 1990, where I would be beat up from the feet up after a night outing with my husband at the time. And I didn't know I would come home to the most brutal beating that I would ever take. And my father was there. He knew. He ran for my life. He ran for his life, but my life too, to call 911. So from March 17, 1990, all the way forward, it's been quite the journey, you guys, of waking up and taking up sacred truth and sacred honor. And so for me today, hearing the news of Mr. Rockefeller passing today, this situation, like I said, no disrespect, condolences to the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the 1% parasitical elite, the Warburgs, the warmongers, all of you guys, corrupt Queen, corrupt Catholic Church, all of it, that have been picking on the Muslims all this time and blaming them. See, whenever Holly Weird, Purple Mafia, Illuminati, they come out with a devastation act, they always got to find a boogeyman. So Hollywood or Holly Weird is really good at manifesting these fabricated stories. So for 9/11/01, they fabricated Osama bin Laden. And one man in a cave did not kick in the legs of the United States on 9/11/01. It took many men, many corrupt men from corrupt Wall Street. And they were bankster thugs and gangster thugs and oil men. Okay, and the Clintons and the Bushes are all a part of that secret society that I was talking about earlier here today. I'm humbly Anna Anders. I am so honored that Mr. Rockefeller passed today. It's Monday, the next business day right after St. Patrick's Day, 2017. There's something in this message there is something in this message, and I know there is. I'm Anna Anders. My father took me to the World Trade Center complex to release all my stress, drama, trauma, and chaos as a battered woman with my brother Joseph, and he can attest to that. Took me there to relieve all my stress in life when I was going through a devastating divorce. And now to hear that Mr. Rockefeller's gone, the man who really did 9/11/01, he scooted aside quietly, very quietly, shh, because that's the way these businessmen work, shh. They're very good at keeping secrets, shh. So, yeah, he scooted aside, shh. And then he allowed Mr. Silverstein to step in, to be the fall guy. When in reality, Mr. Silverstein was not the only fall guy. We all were fall guys, fall men, and fall women and children, and we all bought it all. We all bought it all. Hook, line, and sinker. We all bought it all. The events of 9/11/01, and that's so tragic. That's so tragic, not just for the United States, but it's so tragic for the United Countries that once upon a time were living so peacefully in the Middle East without any consequences, without any military consequences fabricated against them for oil. So yeah, once upon a time they lived so peacefully in that Middle East until some oil men got some really, I don't know, sick and twisted ideas to manifest. And so therein lies, okay, therein lies the lies about 9/11/01. I'm Anna Anders. I'm not going to repeat myself again. I'm one of the founders, because it took many founders to create forglobalpeace.com and this idea and this concept of making peace flags from local to global. So what I want to say is, may this provide a healing platform for genuine healing, genuine peace, and genuine truth. And may the real people start stepping forward to keep exposing the corruption and disruption of human life and human values from local to global, ongoing, like a ticking clock, like a calendar, 365 days out of the year, 24/7, nonstop. Because we're never going to get our planet cleaned up unless we do something. And we need to get up and do something. And this is my contribution today, here on March 20th, 2017. This is my contribution to doing something. God bless you. God bless everyone, everywhere, no exceptions. I'm humbly Anna Anders. Good night, everybody.